Hello, hello, hello. It is now the 20th of November, 2023. It's been a couple of weeks since we last heard from Norm Winski. Time is up. Norm, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Jeff. I was last on your show on November 6th. That was a Monday. And I gave these four cycle points, forecasting points, based on the planets. We had over the weekend of the 3rd, Monday was the 6th, we had Saturn turning direct in Pisces. And Saturn is coffee, and Pisces is oil. Then we had the morning of the 6th, we had Mars hit 0 south latitude. That's about a 2-year cycle. And because it's related to the sun, that's golden corn and golden gold. Then that afternoon, we had Mercury aphelion. Aphelion has to do with the cycle of Mercury, 88 days, elliptical cycle. So there's a point where farthest and closest, the farthest point is called aphelion. That occurs every 88 days. And because it relates to the sun, we have sun-related things. And we have the grains, corn, gold, soybeans, wheat. Then we had that weekend, excuse me, a new moon in Scorpio. That was the weekend of the 10th. Anytime we have a new moon, full moon, we round up the usual suspects, financial, grains, precious metals, and because it was in Scorpio, we also be emphasizing cocoa, hogs, and tea bonds. So here's our 3 points now for corn on the chart here. Our first point, that was a nice high there, and I could have said that was also a high against that high. Although I guess that high was a little higher, but anyway, it was sideways, so I would take a pass there. Then we went down in Scorpio, and that was the low of the month. And so if you bought there, it popped right up, and you would have been very happy. Here's soybeans. They made a high there on our Mercury point, and went a little bit higher the next day, and then down. So you had a chance to make some money. And here you were 2 days off of the low, so that's a miss. So we went 50-50 on the beans. Here's wheat on the Mercury point there. That was a little bit short-term high, and we had made a little short-term low over here on the moon. Then on coffee, coffee just kept going, so that's a miss. That's a red arrow. Green is good, red is bad, and yellow is a pass. Here, cocoa rallied right into the moon, made its high the next day, and then a nice big down. If you're not familiar with cocoa, every big handle there from like 40 to 39 is $1,000. So that's roughly, I think it was about $800 to $1,000 right there. So here's hogs. Hogs rallied up right into the moon. It couldn't be too much more perfect than that. And then down, down, down. Every handle here is worth $400. And we dropped about 72, about 3 handles there. So that's about $1,200. Oil went sideways, so we took a pass. Note though, I'm not taking credit for it. But the next day, that's when the oil had a big drop. But you didn't know that ahead of time when that's our window there where the yellow box is. And so it was just going sideways. Here's silver dropping right into the moon, making the low of the month right on the new moon. And then a big up. That's about if you're trading the big silver, that's about 2 handles there. Each handle is worth $5,000. So that's almost 10 grand, about 10 grand there in a few days. Here's gold rallied up into our our helio point, Mars 0 latitude, and then down. If you bought here though, then that was a miss. And then the low occurred right on the moon there. Low of the month was right there, and then you had a nice rally up. And most people know that every handle in gold is worth $100, and that looks like about 50 handles there for about $5,000. S&P, we did not have any luck at all in the S&P. Rallied into our double window here, and then just went sideways, so you wouldn't have made any money. So we might have had a small loss, and then we were going sideways there, so we did nothing, and then it rallied up into here, and it kept going. So that's a miss. So we hit 0 on S&P. Here's bonds that dropped into the moon, and we gave the T-bonds double credit for the moon because we always track the bonds for the moon anyway, and because it was in Scorpio, that was also on the list, so it was a double hit right there. And then you popped up for 2 handles there for about $2,000. Here's the dollar rallying into there, into the moon, and the high was there, and just a little lower high there before it dropped off the cliff there, and that was pretty nice. And here's the British pound making a low just after the low was here. So there's the moon over that weekend, and then if you bought against that low, you had a big rally, and that was good. Here's the yen dropping into the moon, and then it made its low the next day, and then that big pop up, so that was good too. So we had 15 winners, 6 misses out of 21 for 71.43%. Here's what's coming up now. In 2 days, the night of the 22nd at AC after the close, we have geocentric Mars entering Sagittarius. We really don't have many markets hooked to that, but the stock market, as it says here, it potentially responds to all events. And what's interesting about that is in what's happening down here. Well, I'll tell you in 30 seconds. The night of the 24th, we have that weekend. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 things happening. The end of this week, we have Jupiter to the U.S. Chart. That's stocks, T-bonds, and U.S. dollar. Then we have Helio. That's from the point of view of the sun. Geo is Earth. Helio is Sun. Mars entering Sagittarius. That only occurs about every 2 years when the Geo Mars and the Helio Mars lined up together. And then we also have Uranus to the U.S. chart. I'm going to go out on a limb here and make a little bit of a forecast that may be some disruption in U.S. communications or transportation. And then we also have a full moon that weekend for financials, grains, and precious metals. I've been doing this here. If you're not familiar with me, I've been doing this a long, long time. Professionally, over 45 years, maybe 46, 47 years now. And I've studied all these different methodologies, the astrology, GAN, Elliott wave, astrophysics, music. I have a musical background, Fibonacci, all these things. And I was on the floor there on the CBOE helping the pioneer options starting back in 1975 and did that for 12 years. I also traded on the Chicago Board of Trade, where we were in the same building when initially the Board of Trade people created the CBOE. All right, so now we just had our 45th anniversary for the letter. Letter was started on October 31, 1978, and I'm offering this as the last call on this. I offered this back on the 6th of November, and you can get this free report, October Key Days Forecast Results, where I batted, I think about 76% winning signals for October, and I have the numbers going back for the year and all the way back to 2016, and you can see how I do this. And then if you have any questions about any of the terminology or anything, I'd be happy to help you. However, nothing that I'm doing, once you learn the terminology, is over a 5th grade level. It's all very simple. I can show you how to take very complicated things like fractals. I do fractals. And that's if you go on Google, you'll get calculus. Let me show you how I do it. I do it where a 10-year-old could do it. So most 10-year-olds are not doing calculus. So here's how to get a hold of me. I'm in beautiful Naples, Florida at 239-594-3939, 239-594-3939. Here's my email, nwinski@yahoo.com, nwinski@yahoo.com, or you can call me for free on Skype, nwinski_1. Everybody have a great holiday coming up, and looking forward to helping some of the folks. Please call me. I'm looking forward to talking with you.
Norm, great as always. Have a great Thanksgiving, and we'll see you back in a couple of weeks.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Everybody have a great holiday. Thank you.